Man, I don't care. I'm just gonna start earlier than normal. Good morning, everyone. Yes, I did see that Sabuchi shamelessly uploaded his video before I had the chance to steal his idea. I was working on that, and then the new update, of course, just drops out of nowhere. This is the second time this has happened to me so far, with me being in the middle of working on a video. No, this is the third time recently. It's like every major update that's released lately. It's been like, oh yeah, we're gonna drop the update right in the middle of Cool Kid happening to work on a video. I was working on the Dargan video, and then it dropped, and I'm like, well, it's more evening here. I say good morbing for a reason. I'm so tired of explaining this joke. It's always morbing time. It doesn't matter where you live. As Star Days was ending. I mean, there's been plenty of previous years where nothing happens after Star Days ends. It just ends, and that's kind of the end of it. Yeah, they did it with Lua's Prey and Veilbreakers. They announced the update dropping, like, the day before it actually releases, and it's like, well, fuck. Yeah, I thought, in honor of the throwback to the original Corpus Ship tile set, I'm doing some stuff from the original Ambient slideshow. We haven't had this on in a while, but we'll go ahead and get things started. I mostly just want to talk about the new frame and the fact that I'm tired of the amount of bugs these updates introduce into the game. Hanging fish in the log. I'm just looking at the stream preview. I'm a little bit behind, but okay, we're gonna go ahead and just get my in-game audio working again. Is my music gone? Okay, no, it was just not playing for some reason. So, today's live reaction was from Red Pixel, and I just thought it was really fucking clever. So, that's what we've got today. One of the best frames I've used in a while. I hate to tell you this, A-Pit, but there's actually a really major bug with Avara going on right now that it kind of is probably going to lead into an unhinged rant. I actually also had to leave a pinned, update my pinned comment on the Concentrated Arrow video, and I'm legitimately considering unlisting it until this bug gets fixed. Right now, Internal Bleeding and Hunter Munitions both don't work on Artemis Bow, which is a really big deal, if you ask me. Right now, neither of those mods work. So, I really like Avara Prime, and I highly recommend her. I think she's a lot of fun. But yeah, her fucking Artemis Bow is bugged right now, which is a huge bummer, and I have no idea when it'll get fixed. If it's a code fix that's required, it's probably not going to be fixed for months. Just subsume Radio Blind over Artemis Bow? What if I want to use Artemis Bow? But, yeah. So other than that, that's the main bug that I'm miffed about. The other one is that, two-handed abilities, if you cast them in air while aim gliding, you just drop like a rock. But on the bright side, DE is aware of it. They replied to the forum thread about it and are investigating it right now. No word on the Artemis Bow thing yet, but hopefully that'll get fixed soon. Artemis Bow is bugged? Yes. Hunter Munitions and Internal Bleeding both do not work on Artemis Bow right now, both with or without the augment. God damn it. But yeah, there's also, like I said, you'll just drop like a rock. This is most noticeable with Gara. If you're trying to use Mass Vitrify, you'll just fall straight down, which is really fucking annoying. However, I do want to talk about the new weapons and about Citrine. Or Citrine, sorry. It bothers me how her name is spelled versus how it's pronounced. So I think Citrine is legitimately one of the best frames we've gotten on release in a while. I think she's really good and really fun, and I am terrified they're going to fucking nerf her. So I want to talk about, I guess we can go to the Simulacrum for this, because something that I think is really interesting about Citrine is that her design, her kit is really effective in both lower and higher level content, but for different reasons, and it makes her a really versatile character. And I am going to probably pronounce it as Citrine repeatedly, because we didn't really have any official word on the correct pronunciation until the update. And that was just how I was saying it. So, how did you get her? The build time is 3.5 days. It's called buying the supporter pack. Don't tell anyone. I'm a minor whale. Anyways. So, let's start with, I guess we should probably talk about the abilities. Let's spawn, one heavy gunner. Anyone who's already seen Citrine, I'm sorry I'm about to bore you a little bit. I should pause this guy. So, Citrin's abilities are pretty straightforward, and they work together really well. So, Citrin is an interesting take on a support, because she buffs her allies in, I guess, ways no one has really done so far. So, her first ability shoots out this little blast of, crystals. It'll guarantee an impact and a slash proc, and they'll have this little crystal above their head. Enemies that have that crystal above their head, if you kill them, they have a much higher chance to drop a health or energy orb. I don't have any galvanized stacks on right now, so this is not going to go well. So as you can see, they dropped a health orb. With the amount of power strength that I have, it's guaranteed. And then you can also see the energy orb. So here's the thing about this. I didn't even speak English there. Energy orb drop. Here's the thing about this, is honestly, this ability is so fucking effective that I honestly don't think you need to run Equilibrium either. Like, that was kind of my initial reaction with Veruno, so I could just use my melee exclusively and not worry about getting headshots. But on Citrin, it doesn't even feel necessary. Her 2 is basically just a DR ability. It gives you 90% damage reduction at max. The thing is, it gradually decays, and then every time you get a kill, the duration or the damage reduction on it goes up. And then kill assists make the damage reduction go up by half the amount, and that scales with strength too, along with the starting amount of the damage reduction. Her 3 is where things get interesting. So, is the crystal based on duration? I don't actually think so. I think it's based on the duration of the slash proc. And that kind of ties into something else that I'm going to show. So her 3 is where things get wacky. So you deploy the orb. It's not very orb-shaped, but bear with me here. You deploy the drill bit-looking thing. So it has this nice little rainbow radius. They put gay people in my video game. So as long as you're in this radius, you'll notice that I have a buff in my top right that says 223%. So this, as long as you're in this radius, it boosts both your status chance and your status duration. On top of that, any enemies that you damage will be attacked by the crystal, and the crystal will just proc the 4 base elements on them. This includes enemies hit by your 1, which is where the wackiness begins. And the thing I'm honestly afraid that they're going to nerf. Also, that corrosive proc is because of an Archon mod. That's not naturally how this works. So this crystal is really fucking helpful. It basically allows you to prime enemies for status effects just by having it around. And staying near it gives you that passive boost to your status chance. And like I said, it doesn't attack enemies unless they've been recently damaged by an ally. So the last thing to talk about is her ultimate. She slams down these like crystals that will seek out and reach enemies and paralyze them, which will also spawn these crystal growth things. If you shoot these, it's a guaranteed red crit. I have noticed that sometimes enemies don't spawn with the crystal. I think if it's like an Eximus enemy, they'll get hit by the wave, but they won't spawn the crystal if they still have Overguard. I don't think that's intentional, though. I think they're just supposed to resist the paralyze, and the game doesn't grow the crystal as a result of that. So the last thing is Citrin's passive. You might notice in the bottom right, I have this little 5.3 HP per second. So Citrine has a built-in 5 HP per second health regen, and every time she picks up a health orb, it goes up by 0.1, up to a cap of 25 HP per second. This is kind of fucking insane, if you ask me. This passive is really good. I also have on Arcane Blessing. So, if I get... Let's get a bunch of heavy gunners. And we're gonna leave them unpaused. So I have on Adaptation, specifically for Steel Path. With that and her health regen, she is really, really difficult to get rid of. I mean, in this context, I'll die very quickly because, I'm surrounded. But if you've got, if you're killing enemies, so if you're killing enemies in the radius of her crystal, and they're constantly just dropping health orbs everywhere, it's pretty strong. I should probably use the gun that can actually kill people without requiring a fucking 10 years of setup. Adaptation in lower levels is really not necessary, but I feel like on Steel Path... So on Steel Path, you can survive without it, but you need to basically constantly be killing to pick up health orbs as frequently as possible. With Adaptation, that's not necessary. But like I said, with the amount of power strength I have, at 200%, a health orb drop is guaranteed, which is really helpful. So, Citrine at higher levels is helpful because her crystal and her one and all that stuff, you know, inflict status effects, make enemies drop stuff for you, and they set up enemies for your weapons. At lower levels, on the other hand, she's really good because she just kills things with the crystal outright. Let's go to, like, level 50. So, in this context, I don't actually even need to use my weapons. As long as I hit them with my one, the crystal will just start fucking killing them. It's relatively slow, but if you just kind of mash the one from time to time, it'll just periodically zap nearby enemies. So in lower level content, you can just kind of do that. Relatively immobile frame? I would say yes. She's really good at holding the area around her crystal. I feel like she's almost like a better execution of Hydroid's idea. Would you reckon her 1 would work with Garuda's 4? So I would say probably, but the thing I'm rather interested in is her 3 in Garuda's 4, because I imagine Garuda hitting enemies with her ult will cause the crystal to target them, which causes it to produce, you know, more slash procs. Something else I've been playing around with is... Let me go ahead and just pause the AI here again. Actually, this is fine. Something else that I've been playing around with is, like I said, it's Citrine or her allies hitting enemies will cause the crystal to attack them, and this includes specters. So if you just have a specter chilling in the radius of your crystal, and it does something like that and hits a bunch of enemies, the crystal will just start, you know, giving them a helping hand. Which is really nice. This has been something I've been kind of doing with the new game mode. When I've been playing it on the lower level to get used to Citrine. I'll just leave a specter in the radius of the crystal to kind of hang out and do stuff for me. The reason it's this mag specter is because I was actually out of vapor specters almost. So I just, like, had a bunch of phase ones on hand. I'm like, yeah, we'll just use these. But I could definitely see if you gave your Spectre a weapon that hit a lot of enemies. Like I said, the crystal is slow. But it puts in some work at lower levels. So, the thing that worries me about Citrine is this little line in her ability section. Deploy a gem that shoots prismatic beams. The gem targets enemies that take weapon damage from Citrine and her allies. That weapon damage scares me, because it's making me wonder if they're going to remove the fact that being hit by abilities causes the crystal to target you. I do not think they should remove that. I really do not think they should remove that. I think it's a really big part of what makes her powerful, is that you can spam her 1 and her 3 will just, you know, autonomously start priming enemies for you, in addition to the impact and slash from her 1. But that weapon damage thing concerns me a lot. As for her weapons, we'll leave their AI paused. Oh, god damn it. Actually, no, we won't. I have to make them kill this thing. Hold on. Whenever I enter the simulacrum, there's minimum 1 catastrophic fuck-up that occurs, right? Come on, I need you to die. Come here. I just remember that her DR ability is shared with allies, and she might be holding position. Ma'am. Yeah, ma'am, come here. Come on. Please die. Where did she... Maybe she did die. I think she's dead. Okay, that's good. Anyhow. So when it comes to her weapons, Chlorophyll is alright. I mostly been... with Citrine, I have, the Crystal and her 1 basically priming enemies for me. And I would say that the heavy attack on it's relatively good. It's no Stropha, I don't think, but I'd say it's pretty good. Her shotgun, I'm not a huge fan of. Will the crystal target an enemy if you damage them via a bullet jump or jump slide? I believe so. I think it's basically any form of damage. We can try it real quick, though. We'll pause their AI real fast. I think it's just... Well, I guess maybe not. Good to know. So, her shotgun... I feel like we made the Alternox mistake again. So her shotgun is a status weapon, but it only has up to 3 status effects, because its base damage, I believe, is pure impact and heat. Yeah, so it's like, we have this, you know, weapon that relies on proccing status effects to build damage, but it only can have 3 status effects by itself. Which sucks. So, on the bright side, that's what the crystal is for. The thing is, like, it also has a mechanic where its range is really short. but every time you hit an enemy, the projectile size, speed, and lifetime increases. Or I think just projectile lifetime and size. So basically, if you hit one enemy, you're going to hit every enemy behind them. It'll just kind of keep going. The thing is, as you can notice, this does not deal that much damage until my galvanized stacks are ready, and then I can actually start killing people. Once that gets, you know, set up, I can redeploy my crystal here. Once that gets set up, you know, then I can start doing stuff, especially with her 4. But I think that's more a byproduct of the fact that Citrine is really good at, like, buffing her weapons, and less, you know, the gun being good. So I don't know. For me right now, Stephalos feels like a worse Archoplasmor. I know that you can do some funny stuff with Mag, because the projectile size will just keep going. Hold on, let me just show this real quick. I'm sorry I haven't been reading much chat. I have a lot of things in my brain right now that I want to dump onto my audience completely unprompted before I actually begin any form of interaction. But I know with Mag you can do some goofy shit, because it just keeps growing. If you have, like, increased projectile lifetime, I think it's like you needed to... Dystopia did a video on this. So, it's like projectile lifetime and, like, acceleration and stuff like that. And I think fire rate as well. Let me just grab some goofy shit. I don't think I have any other things for multi-shot than, yeah, these. Fire rate. We'll grab fucking... these. I don't know if there's anything else that increases projectile speed. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. But I know that you can get some goofy things, unless they've just recently fixed it. Yeah, see? It just kind of fucking... It just kind of does that for some reason. That's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. Or 4 immobilizes acolytes. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they have the same status reduction. Arrows 4 and 1 combined on some enemies. Kind of. You still obviously don't get the benefit of the invincibility, but... Just kill all these dudes real quick. Also, I think I read, yeah, hitting the crystals with AoE damage triggers giant red crits. I won't be surprised if that gets removed. I hope it doesn't, just on the grounds of it being funny, but I don't think it's gonna stay. Did you see JoJo Part 9? What? No, I don't watch JoJo. Despite the profile picture, it's just that the artist I, you know, have in my basement to draw me profile pictures is a fan of JoJo. Under 5 seconds in Star Trek Online. Yeah, I would imagine as much. Of her getting that shotgun since she procs every base status. I mean, yeah, but at the same time, right? The shotgun being good with Citrine, I don't think means the shotgun is good. I think it means that Citrine is good, and that she helps carry the shotgun. I legitimately feel like it's Alternox syndrome. Will Citrine phase out Haro? I don't think so. I still think he has stuff that's really helpful in his own right. Like, he has his fire rate buff. He can make his teammates invincible. The crit thing, I think, is flat red crit, as opposed to Haro, which is like a... God, I'm getting sidetracked. So I think it's a set red crit, as opposed to Haro, which is additive. So you can scale off of Haro's better if you already have a weapon that's really strong. How long did it take her to farm out, then? I bought the supporter pack. You think I farmed this shit? No, not yet. I've been playing the new game mode quite a bit. Please confirm whether your crush is me or Fran J. I think that's a pretty obvious question there, Nitro. I don't even know who the fuck Fran J is. Haro's is flat, isn't it? So Haro's is flat, but I think Citrine's is set. So I think that if you go above 300% crit chance, I'm pretty sure it will bring you down to red crit, kind of like the Kavat buff. I'd have to test. As opposed to Haro, which is flat, in that if you can go above that, you're still benefiting. Whereas if you go above 300% naturally with this, it'll bring you down. Even though doing that organically is hard. But yeah, initial impressions of Citrine, I think she's very good. And I really hope they don't nerf her. when I was leveling Citrine and her weapons, I actually did it all on Steel Path by myself. She's legitimately good enough that while I was leveling and formatting her, I didn't feel the need to, like, go to Hydron or something. I just played on the Steel Path by myself, and I did just fine. So that's that. They nerfed healing in the new game mode. I actually didn't even know that healing worked. I was under the impression that it didn't because of the core gimmick. I didn't realize that it actually did the entire time. So it doesn't affect me that much because I wasn't even playing it that way. Bad frame. What's this about a harem now? Don't worry about it. What is the new game mode? Does Citrine need headshots for crits? She has to hit the crystal growths on the enemy. So it's not necessarily headshots, it's just wherever the crystal springs up on them. We can go ahead and go to the new game mode, though. Got Inaros Primacy somewhat equipable. Inaros isn't in a great state, to be honest with you. His main thing is that he has a really high health pool, but that's all he has going for him, and in the Shield Gate meta that Warframe has been in for the past several years, it's not great. The one thing that you can do that I think Inaros, that's his only real exclusive thing, is that Inaros can play the Void Raider mission from Barrow, where you can buy it from him and do a special mission as Inaros Prime, but otherwise, they're not a great frame. So, how this game mode works, for those who haven't played yet, is you have two crystals. You have Ranya's crystal and Belric's crystal. What you want to do is defend the crystal for 2.5 minutes, kind of like a mobile defense, but you also have these things, Citrine's remnants. What you want to do is grab them, and then every time you get 50, the shield, or the crystal, will be reinforced. What that does is it gives you some of the event currency, or some of the mission-type currency, rather, for the pity shop. And the crystal will get healed for 5,000 health. If it has, I think it's 5 or 6,000. If it has more health than, it would be healed, then it gets turned into overshields. If you say on the live stream reaction is you, this is just live. Don't look into it too hard. It seems like, yeah, normally the remnants spawn in greater number than this. As you can see, I'm just having my Nidus Spectre kind of hang out. Oh, fucking duh. I know why I'm struggling. Hold on. Something very important that I didn't mention. I took off my carrier for the thumbnail and completely forgot to put it back on, because this is actually huge. So, the Citrine remnants that appear show up with loot radar. So, if you're playing with a group, if you just have one guy with, like, really high loot radar just assigned to picking shit up, you can basically stay on top of it, like, for good. You should see it on my minimap here in a second when the wave starts. Yep, you see all these things that look like they're crates? Those are just the remnants. So you can chase them down really, really easily if you have, like, Animal Instinct or something on your companion. Oh, fuck, I forgot it to tell him to hold still. No, dumbass, come here. I need you to play the game mode for me. Where'd he go? He's not coming back. Come here. No, hold still. Fucking bastard. Okay, I think Nidus is done. Is your status chance from a gem additive, flat, or multiplicative? I think it's additive with status chance mods. I would have to do more testing, but I believe it's additive with status chance mods. But the base amount is 100%, so it's still quite strong. My Citrine is mostly strength. It's well-rounded, but mostly strength. Yeah, I'll see if I can't pick up the 50 required here. I imagine most of you have already seen how this new game mode and stuff works. Are the crystals you put down from her 3 permanent? No, they have a duration. I think the base amount is like 30 seconds. So you have to go and recast it periodically. Like I said, though, Citrine is very good at, like, holding down an area because the buff that her crystal provides is so powerful. If you're playing with weapons that, benefit from status effects with, like a Galvanized Savvy or, Condition Overload or what have you. So yeah, Prismatic Ward activated. So it gives it a shield, and it also actually spawns another Citrine crystal on top of it. So you basically get this nice Citrine crystal here that gives you a hand. I don't think it provides the status chance buff. I can actually test this right now. I can just move my crystal. This is probably still too close. Yeah, it doesn't look like it provides the status chance buff. Geoluminescence. I think that's an HP regeneration buff up there. Oh, wow. Okay, thanks for buffing me right after I recast. Get hundreds of slash procs based. Yeah, I also got... this mode is weird. It has 2 pity shop currencies, which I honestly don't really like. I feel like it's kind of unnecessary, but you have Rania crystal fragments and Belric crystal fragments. So once this wave ends, what you want to do is run across to the other area here. During this 30-second downtime, a fucking bajillion of these fragments spawn in here, and you kind of just want to pick up as many as possible to both reinforce the next crystal and gain event currency. You can also sometimes see the Aura Worm show up in here, which is neat. I don't know if he's going to be nice enough to grace us with his presence. Yeah, you grab all this stuff. And then, for the big reveal of the game mode, you get to go back to the old Corpus ship defense tile. Which makes me really happy. He was there. I was actually looking at chat while I was saying that, so maybe I didn't think that all the way through. So we're back on the old Corpus ship tile. This makes me very nostalgic. I'm going to be honest, I never had a particular affinity for this tile. I never thought it was particularly, like, amazing. I think a lot of that is rose-tinted glasses, to be honest. This tile is okay. But the fact that we're back here makes me very nostalgic, and that's what counts for me at this point. I'm you know, the fucking 21-year-old consumer Funko Pop collection type guy right now. The nostalgia bait is working. The thing is, I will very much grow to hate this tile once I grind this fucking game mode for a bajillion hours for all of the rewards, so there's that. Better than current Corpus ship defense. I mean, at the same time, though, we're not playing this in the same environment as that, right? Where we have to wait for enemies to funnel to us, because that was a problem on this tile back in the day, was it enemies getting stuck. Just because we have to only wait for just a duration, I feel like that big problem of the Corpus defense tile doesn't show up here, naturally just because the game mode doesn't have that mechanic. Also, I'm not worried about placing a Spectre against these guys, because the Corpus are piss easy. But yeah, it's really nostalgic to be here and just, like, explore all the stuff that I remember from back in the day. And there's also, you know, an actual in-universe reason for it, being that this crystal was stashed away here a long time ago, or in this area a long time ago. Another fun thing about this, that I assume people probably have noticed this, but the skybox here is the one from the call mission. And yes, skybox appreciation posting. Do you want a full squad for the grind? Realistically, no. I know it's more efficient, but this game mode really does promote teamwork, by the way. Like, farming Conjunction Survival Solo was already pretty stupid of me, because you got more Thrax, and thus more Thrax Plasm, the more people that were in your squad. Where is this? Oh yeah, duh, it's on the stairs. But I feel like this game mode especially very much rewards teamwork. So yeah, then what you'll do is, after this, you'll go back into the funny tunnel, you know, scrounge up as many remnants as you possibly can in the 30-second window, and then you'll do it again. Also, I would just like to mention, Tilrigor speaks like a fucking Neanderthal in this update, and it really bothers me. I feel like whoever wrote him did not really understand how he spoke, because he sounds like he's a fucking, like, idiot, and it bothers me. I feel like Tilrigor was always like this sort of articulate Grineer, right? And that was kind of what made him stand out, was his suave voice and his articulate manner.
The clever unleash the infested on Deimos forever. Never liked that rhyme. Garbage rhyme.
You see what I mean? Like, he speaks in, like, short, almost stunted sentences. It kind of pisses me off. I know that we haven't had Regor being active in any content for a while, but damn. I didn't realize that the mental degeneration had gotten to him by this point. Did the crystals cause Deimos to be infested? It seems like something that Rania and Belric did cause it to be infested, but I haven't heard any dialogue properly explaining what it means yet. I know that, like, you get mission dialogue as you play the mission for longer, as well as Otak has lines talking about it. Understand Tilrigor's witticisms? I don't think so. I don't know, this mission type feels very classic Warframe to me. You're right, we're fighting regular Corpus units on the old ship tile, we're fighting Grineer on this Mars tile, you know, getting switch teleported by commanders, all that good stuff. It makes me very nostalgic. Is how Deimos got infested. I think Sun breaking containment was how they got infested by Deimos, not the other way around. Also never used to be horny. Is he explicitly horny in this update? I feel like I'm missing something. Also, for those of you who have noticed, I'm not using her 2 simply because I have adaptation, so I don't really need to. Like I said, though, adaptation is not necessary in this level of content. You're doing something like this, you can just use the 2 and you'll be fine. I only have on adaptation for Steel Path, because stacking 90% damage reduction from adaptation, which is multiplicative, with a 90% DR ability gives you like 65 times the effective health. It's pretty fucking nuts. So you don't really need to. If you're using adaptation in lower level content specifically, not really. If you're playing higher level content, I still very much think you need it. I also feel like there's nothing in Citrine's kit that screams replace fodder to me, right? Which, that's the thing about the past several Warframes, is the only one that I can think of where I feel like it's obvious what you should replace was Varuna, because her 4 just doesn't mesh with the rest of her kit at all. But... oh, there's Lodun. But with, like, the others, like, Gyre, I feel like it kind of bothers me, because I feel like you have to replace something on her to deal with armor. And the fact that her survivability sucks. So it's like, well, something's got to go for Pillage to go on here if I'm playing Steel Path. But for Styanax and for Citrine, I don't feel like it's necessary to replace anything on them, to be honest. You certainly can. I know, like, Nourish on Styanax has been popular lately, but... might this explain the connection between these crystals? Trying to catch up. And then, yeah, Gyre's new augment's really good, but it doesn't really fix that her issues with armor and survivability. However, it does allow her to kill things more effectively, which is still plenty of fun. It still very much plays into the angle of, how did Sabuchi describe it? I think he said Gyre was a gun-zerker frame, I think was the word he used. That she very much is built on just, like, making your guns stronger. That's a big part of her kit, and it plays right into that. So it makes her stronger parts stronger. I just still feel like her weaknesses are so oppressive she still has to drop something at higher levels. I'm going to take advantage of that. Terrify is honestly 100% a valid way to do it, too. I think Terrify and Pillage are the 2 big ones for Gyre. At least to me. I don't know which one. What? That bothers me. He refers to us as rodents, which also bothers me because he always referred to us originally as lizards, and I feel like we've been downgraded, guys. I want to go back to being Tilrigor's little lizard. Holy shit, out of context, that's gonna sound so fucking weird. I want to go back to being Tilrigor's little lizard. I don't want to live in this existence of being a rodent anymore. I don't want to be the cancerous rodent from Ultra Kill. I want to go back to being a lizard with sticky hands. This is so sad. 1 like equals 1 lizard. 1 like equals 1 lizard. Rats are cooler than lizards? I disagree. I disagree. Imagine, I wish I was a lizard, chat. You want the truth? You want the truth? I wish I was a lizard. I wish I could just lay on a rock and that was my entire life. Because rodents have more developed brains. Yeah, that makes the insult less effective, Kazette. We somehow became more intelligent creatures. Or maybe if you consider this as canonically happening before the Nata quest, maybe he downgraded us to lizards later on after we proved to be incompetent in this mission. I don't know. Changing personas? That would require me to have a persona to begin with. I was getting too distracted there. Also, 3,000 credit cash is a cruel joke as a reward for this. It doesn't surprise me that it's here. I just think it's sad. Honestly, one day, like, I plead, one day, no more credit cash rewards. Then again, this mission is accessible to new players as well, so it may well be that, you know, it's not as big of a deal. What? That was sad. Did we just put him in a coma? I'm pretty sure Tilrigor, after the events of Nata, is supposed to be dead. But this happens all the way back in Deimos, so canonically, right, timeline of events, this happens before then, I would imagine. So Shireen is an early game frame? Kind of. Her drop chance kind of sucks because the pity system, it's the same issue I have with Varuna, is you can tell they balanced the drop rate around the pity system's existence, so it's hardly a pity system so much as like a borderline requirement that at least one of the pieces, unless you grind the ever-living fuck out of the game mode, you're gonna have to go by. Fortnite, thank you, very cool. I haven't pinned a message yet this stream. We'll pin Fortnite. There we go. The pinning of that message blocked my ability to read the next chat message. That's funny. I have to wait for that to go away. Since we're canonically rolling up in his dominion and fucking him up like the rodents fucking up the entirety of Europe. I don't know. I just want to go back to being Tilrigor's little lizard, man. I don't know what else I have to say about that. I want to go back to being a lizard. I don't have any comments on the politics of being referred to as a rodent necessarily. I just want to go back to being a lizard. Wait, isn't Tripperos a lizard now? Hold on a second. Didn't Trib become a scaly recently? Holy shit. They had to make it about rats because they didn't want to give Trib more power. Holy shit. I just realized, never mind. I realized why we're not little lizards anymore, chat. Trib took everything from me. Trib becoming a big lizard has ruined my ability to be a little lizard. I hate capitalism. You can't just... Have you guys not heard? Literally, go to Trib's Twitter. Space Waifu drew, like, a scaly persona of him as some kind of lizard. Or, like, I don't know, Newt, maybe? Sabuchi would be able to explain it better. He's the reptile expert. But yeah, that's true. Go to Trib's Twitter. Space Waifu drew him a fucking scaly Sona? Question mark? I don't know if that's what you would call that, but... I'm not making this up. Alrighty. Back into the dimension. I also, like I said, I'm sorry I'm not reading chat as much. This game mode is honestly one of the most involved Warframe game modes I feel like we've gotten in a while. You actually do have to pay attention to do well. It's not like even Conjunction Survival, with all the stuff it added, I still felt like I was able to play that pretty brain dead and be relatively safe. But in this game mode, you've got to really be active and looking for the crystals and stuff like that in order to perform well. Which isn't a problem, but... State of Warframe content creators, for real. Yeah. Listen, I'm stupid. Yeah, Conjunction Survival... Like I said, I like it for the spins it puts on regular survival, but I still don't really like regular survival. Frankly, I'm having fun with this game mode for now, but like I said, once I grind it for fucking 30 hours or some bullshit to get all of the items, I'm not gonna like it anymore. That's what happened with Conjunction Survival. I thought it was an alright game mode when I started playing it, and then by the end of it I never wanted to play it again, and I legitimately still haven't. After I grinded out every single item that I needed, I don't think I've touched the game mode since. The worst part is we have 5 arcanes to grind this time instead of 4. Although on the bright side, I'm not interested in one of them. Secondary kinship is not something I'm going to see myself using almost at all. Get this thing out of here. The fire rate is too slow. Oh, I guess you're referring to the new arcane. I've been a little bit checked out of chat, so I assume you guys are talking about the new I think it's what, primary plated rounds is what it's called. The one that I'm most interested in is the secondary one where, like, proccing a status effect has a 20-odd% chance to proc another random status effect. Once they fix the beam chaining bug that's in the game right now, where enemies that, like, the initial target of a chain doesn't take the extra status effects, that's going to be an absurdly good primer take for things like Nucor and stuff. I still think for, like, primer Epitaph and stuff, it's going to be really popular. I don't entirely know why they felt the need to make primers better. They're already still extremely meta, but what a... Fucking hell, can I please not do the funny and grab a ledge and then launch myself into the floor? Oh, by the way, weird thing about Citrine's crystal that I've noticed, nullifiers touching the crystal doesn't turn it off, and nullifiers touching you turns the crystal off. Can I not Void Sling into my falling frame, please? That would be great. Okay. Status ration mods got buffed? Yeah, that's true. Best thing about the shotgun is that it's a gun blade. Yeah, the scythe. Yeah, the scythe is basically just another gun blade. Like, so I still think it's not, like, an insanely good gun blade, but it's pretty good. It holds up fine. And honestly, it's just fucking cool. The thing is, I feel like hybrid builds, like, the base stats are low enough that I feel like the idea was supposed to be that you were supposed to do a hybrid build for heavy attacks and normal attacks to take advantage of the shotgun and the normal scythe form. But I feel like the stats aren't really good enough to justify that. I feel like you still kind of have to build either or. But I mean, people who either get a Riven or are just more talented than me could probably still very much make it work. This mission doesn't follow the A-B-B-C rotation. It's still A-A-B-C. So it's 2 A rotations, a B rotation, then a C rotation, then it resets. The only thing that I can think of off the top of my head that doesn't follow that is Disruption doesn't follow that, because it's based on the conduits that you, like, do per round. And then Arbitrations follow an A-A-B-B and then C forever rotation. I don't know if how Disruption affects that. I don't even know if it does. But those are the two things I can think of that are abnormal. What counts as a buff? For kinship, I honestly have no idea. I'm guessing they might have just made it so it's like, if a Warframe ability of yours affects your teammate with some kind of positive status effect, they count it as a buff. But I don't really know what constitutes a buff yet. I honestly, like, I have a single secondary kinship. Spy Vaults are also ABC, that's true. I mean, they're not an endless game mode, though, so they wouldn't follow AABC anyways. Because, like, Caches and Hive and Exterminate and stuff, and Sabotage all follow the same rotation. I would view that at least as separate. Would Octavia's passive count as a buff? Maybe. I think Titania's passive might affect teammates, too. I actually wonder. I think Citrine's does. Citrine grants nearby allies 5 health regeneration per second. Yeah, so Citrine's passive is also a passive boost. I feel like on Citrine, literally, like, all of her abilities except for her 1 buff her allies. Her passive does, her 2 buffs nearby allies, her 3 buffs nearby allies. Like, damn. Simulacrum Spy Endless Game Mode. I've been very much an advocate for more new Spy Vaults, which I think is a controversial take, because both Lua and Jupiter are not very well revered by the community, but I like them. I think Spy Vaults are cool. I want more of them. I was really hoping we would get Zeraman Spy in, like, the Echoes update, but sadly the Zeraman got no new game modes after its initial release, which was a bummer. I was hoping we'd get Spy. Then again, I imagine it'd probably become an infamously frustrating game mode. But you know what happens? Low duration Wisp constantly reapplying modes. Maybe. That's really, those are the 2 factions of Wisp players, though, isn't it? High range, lower duration, or higher duration, lower range. I feel like those are, like, the 2 camps I see Wisp players in. You have to haul ass. You get a brief downtime before the next wave timer starts when you go from Venus to Mars, but other way around, from Mars to Venus, once the wave ends, just immediately you've got to start moving, so you don't have that brief grace period to set up to grab the fragments. And I'm not paying enough attention to notice half the damn time. So I just have to kind of scramble to get over there. Because every second in this dimension, as long as these crystals are here during the next wave countdown, is precious. You want to grab as many of these as possible. I think I'm probably just going to leave at rotation C and then restart so I don't have to worry about the difficulty ramp up. I could be doing this more efficiently, but I want to play the new character, so I'm not particularly bothered about it right now. Can I please actually scale the wall? Thank you. Bam, the one. Is that I'm a little bit worried that they're going to nerf the fact that the crystal targets enemies. Have you scanned the crystals yet? Actually, no. I read that you could do that, but I haven't gotten around to it. I'm not sure if it's the crystals themselves or, like, crystal fragments that are around the level, but... Should we get a mirror defense on Venus so it can make sense? I don't feel like that's necessary. We have an OTech inventory review. I can look at it in a second and talk about it, sure. Like I said, this is just my opinion, okay? I want to preface all of this real quick. This is all my opinion. You're completely allowed to disagree with me or have ideas that I didn't think of, right? I really hate in the Warframe community, people just absorb the opinion of content creators and like it's law. It's very much not. You're 100% entitled to your own opinion, and you can disagree with me. This is just my initial impressions of things. As the update is new, just friendly reminder, content creators' opinions are just their opinions. The blast is meant to have the gem target them. I'm not entirely sure what you're referring to. I think I lost track of what you were talking about. To pick up these. So it should stay. Maybe. I mean, if then again, when the ability tips for Korra said that Venari could heal objectives, they still removed it, claiming it was a bug. But if it's in the ability tips, that definitely gives me hope that it's not going to be removed. The crystal is very rapidly dying right now. On my way to just take a massive Cool Kid L. Get that shit out of here. Frost mains are useful again. Every stream I have to defend either Frost or Oberon. Frost is good. Yeah. Oh, look, I got the systems again. With the Decaying Dragon Key is wildly over-abused. I honestly don't know if that's an unpopular opinion. I want them to nerf it, frankly. I would be fine with them nerfing it, at least. I know that's probably unpopular, but I think it's super abusable. Frost's strongest soldier? Real and true. My opinions are fact in my opinion. Real and true, Darth. Real and true. YT creator opinions are objectively correct 100% of the time. AGGP is right 200% of the time. That's correct. AGGP is so correct that any content creator that disagrees with him immediately is banned from the game for spreading misinformation. Speaking of spreading misinformation, retroactively, something in Weird and Obscure Stuff Volume 8 is incorrect now. Synth Charge doesn't benefit the Tenet Blinks' alt fire anymore. That got fixed. I say fixed with air quotes. It sounds more like they felt like it was too abusable. Actually fun to use when he gets a 300% ability strength. That makes him a lot more fun. I agree. I still think he's good all around. What's Citrine's helmet ability? I believe it's her 1 at reduced strength. Let me look. Yeah, so it's her 1, but 50% reduced strength, because DE is just fucking slamming the nerf hammer on new abilities without even letting people use them. Although I think in Citrine's case, it's justified. Is a word? Well.
Operator, were you
It was rude and uncalled for. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Me too.
Oberon with RB buff is fun because his smite turns into an atom bomb. That's true. What her 1 could be good on? I can honestly see it being good on characters like Korra. On AoE weapons, but apparently this is a bug. Yeah, sniper ammo mutation is a bug that I'm pretty sure is known about. Maybe Gara instead of Spectral Siphon? I mean, maybe. I still feel like Spectral Siphon's really strong, though. But let's talk about the OTAC shop real quick. if you thought that was long. I'm actually familiar with it because my uncle is a chemistry teacher and showed us a video of a guy reading the entire chemical name in one sitting, and I think the video was multiple hours long. That's the thing, though, is that a lot of, that, like, word is not really a word. It's almost like a language formula. It's like a description of the chemical. So arguably doesn't count. My uncle works at chemistry. Yes, he's a chemistry teacher. So sad she doesn't get a Lavarian. I think more of the lore is supposed to be in the game mode, but yeah, it's a bummer. She also, her signature cosmetic was a fucking Sugatra.
Citrine was made out of minerals? I wish I was made out of minerals.
What the fuck? I haven't heard that line yet. Imagine just saying that, unprompted when someone approaches you. Just, I wish I was made out of minerals. Oh, okay. Yeah. The prices in here are a bit of a bitch. I don't actually think Citrine's blueprint drops. I think you might have to buy it, but I don't know for sure. But fortunately, you don't need the event currency to actually craft the fucking parts this time, unlike the furry. And then, yeah, these are staggered with the fragment drops, which I find to be kind of stupid. Got the BP to drop. Okay, so if it does drop, then that's fine. I would have to look at the drop table again. Actually, I can just do that right now. Warframe PC dropped. For those of you who don't know, by the way, Warframe's drop tables are all public. There's an online repository for them that DE updates. So, Tiana Pass. You can search by mission name as well. It looks like... yeah, all of Citrine's parts can drop in rotation C. The blueprint is actually the highest chance at 6.8%. And all of the other parts are 4.5%. So that thing I said about it really feeling like they balanced her drop chances around the fucking pity shop. Yeah. So yeah, the new arcanes are interesting. Arcane Steadfast. On ability cast, 20% chance the next 3 abilities will not cost energy. The fact that this is a 20% chance, I don't really feel like I'm going to use this that much. It could be useful on some characters. But I'm not a huge fan. I don't see the potential yet. Primary plated rounds. Deal increased damage per round loaded based on max magazine size. I feel like this has potential on some weapons that have high fire rates and high magazines, like Prisma Gorgon or Prisma Gracata, stuff like that. But we'll have to see. I need to get my hands on it. Arcane Double Back, 25% damage resistance for 4 seconds per dodge, double jump, or bullet jump. Stacks up to 3 times. This, I think, has the potential to be quite good. I think this has the potential to be quite good. Secondary Encumber, 24% chance on status effect to trigger a second random status effect. This might be overpowered. I think this would be really strong. And then Secondary Kinship. While buffing ally frame, 20% crit chance per buff. If that's additive with crit chance mods, this already sucks. Unless you have, like, a full squad and a bunch of buffs. If this is flat or multiplicative or something, this could be insanely good. I didn't see a Steadfast Refreshable. I don't know if it's mentioned. If Steadfast is refreshable, that definitely improves. What the fuck? This guy's using the new ephemera, and he looks horrendous. I don't mean to talk mad shit. Serial crime. He's a crime against more things than just cereal. Anyways, if Steadfast is refreshable, then it's absolutely cracked. It definitely has the potential to be super good if it's refreshable. Encumber plus Atomos, forced proc. So here's something funny about that. There is currently a bug with Secondary Encumber, where if you shoot an enemy with a beam weapon, the initial enemy you hit does not get affected by Secondary Encumber. Only enemies chained off the beam are affected by it. And they said this has to be a code fix, so it probably won't be fixed for months. Added weak spot spoils that you had to shoot to damage them. Reminds me of Citrine's 4th power. Yeah, I think Citrine's is more well executed, though, because you could just do it to any enemy. But yeah, This stream will probably mostly just be me fucking around and playing the new game mode. Like I said, I'm only going to Wave 4 and then just dipping and relaunching because I want to play the new character. I don't feel like being efficient right now. I feel like playing the new character and trying to have fun. Works fine with it for me. Really, they mentioned that specifically Atomos, but they said any beam weapon. The initial target wouldn't work.
Here to defend something that defies my own understanding of the void. These crystals need you. Stop the Grenier and Corpus.
More crystal sounding than Gara. I like them all except for her too. That high-pitched, like, whining noise afterwards bothers me. I don't know about anyone else, but I am, like, particularly sensitive to high-pitched noises, and it just hurts my ears. It's funny because the wife constantly, like, is confused whenever I'm, like, kept up because some, like, thing in our apartment is making some mechanical whining noise. Because most people can't hear it, and I know as I age, I won't be able to hear it anymore either. Because as you get older, your ability to hear higher frequencies actually disappears. But, holy shit, like, at work, I typically have to be listening to music or something because all of the stuff in the office that makes those electronic noises drives me fucking nuts. Are you autistic? Probably. No one made a Steven Universe joke yet. I mean, I guess we are the, this is the gemussy. I like how after I said that I was mostly going to be playing the new game mode, like 15 people left. I respect that. So there are no plans for this stream. I'm just fucking around. Realistically, I should be working on the Dargan video, but I want to play with the new stuff for at least a little bit. I had to work yesterday, then my internet fucking went out for scheduled maintenance like 2 hours after I got home, so that was rough. Is there any doubt you're autistic? Where do you work? What is your address? That's, I don't think I can say that. Not safely. Not safely. I don't trust my YouTube viewer base. It reminds me of one time that I made the joke that if Sabuchi's docs ever got revealed, I'd use it to send him tea, and he just sent me his fucking address. So I was a man of my word and sent him some tea. I wouldn't trust, especially Sabuchi, I wouldn't trust with my address, but you know, his mistake. Apparently, mind showing your build? Yeah, I can. Apparently, like, Sabuchi's address, I think someone told me was borderline public information, which I was unaware of, but still. Well, what is it? I'm not fucking saying Sabuchi's address. I don't care if it's borderline public information. I'm not saying it. I don't even know if I still have it. I might have trashed the message that it was in. That kind of shit makes me uncomfortable. Titania is going to be great for this game mode, specifically because of this room, by the way. That's my prediction. If you're in a team, Titania grabbing crystal fragments is going to probably be the meta, but especially because of this room's existence. Oh, hi, Nidus. I didn't realize that I didn't tell you to hold position. All right, come on, buddy. You don't, or you know Sab's address, prove it. User has been banned from text chat. Listen, if you want Sab's address, ask him. Apparently, if you make a joke about sending him tea, he'll just give it to you. And then the joke won't become a joke anymore. We need Kuva till Rigor. Sabuchi T-maxing? Maybe. I think I'm just going to drag the Spectre around with me so he can just autonomously have my crystal play the game for me. I wouldn't be surprised if that interaction gets changed, to be honest, that Spectre's work for triggering the crystal. I can definitely see that getting nerfed. I hope it doesn't, but I can definitely see it happening. And then people will blame me for it. It will become a threat, perhaps. Yeah, I know I've talked about her quite a bit already, but yeah, Citrine is very good. I highly recommend her. I think she's a lot of fun. and she's very strong. Does on-call count for triggering the crystal? As far as I've tested, any Spectre counts for triggering the crystal. I tried with on-call, Warframe Spectres, and with Ancient Healer and Moa Spectres, and they all seem to work. I think it's just, it checks for, like, ally damage, basically. Have you tried any of the new augments? I've tried Gyres, and I thought that it was pretty good, even though I don't feel like it addresses her core problems, being survivability and inability to deal with armor. But you can throw on Pillage or Terrify or something to remedy that for the most part. But her new augment's quite good, from what I've tested. It basically makes Rotor Swell even stronger, which is a W I will take for her. Haven't played with any of the other ones yet. Revenance is pretty cut and dry. Marilena, the augment for that, I feel like is also pretty cut and dry. Gara's, I'm not really sure about the effectiveness of yet. I need to tell my Spectre to move. I think I made it in time. Coming with? Yeah, he's coming with. Come on, buddy. We're going back to Mars. Actually, secretly, none of this happens on Mars. All of this is just taking place in the desert on Earth. We're actually in Nevada every time we go to Mars. It's like a big cover-up. It's like the moon landing, how it was apparently, like, filmed by Steven Spielberg or some dumb whatever the fuck those conspiracy people believe. We're actually not on Mars. This is just outside of Vegas. If you look far enough in the skybox, you can actually see Las Vegas in the distance. I'll show you. Watch this. Watch this. Look. Out in the distance. There's Las Vegas. My best friend believes that? That's tragic. I'm sorry for you. You know what's funny is because of radiation from the sun, the American flag planted during the moon landing has actually basically been reduced to dust. So there's technically there's no surviving proof on the moon that it happened, other than I guess like footprints, because those will never blow away because there's no atmosphere. But as far as I'm aware, like solar radiation has bleached and very heavily destroyed the flag. I love citrine remnants. Yum. I'm so full of citrine remnants. Yummy. What about the pole that held the flag? I'm pretty sure that it's been heavily damaged, too. I don't know if it's been, like, as fucked up as the actual flag, though. Then again, this is all just, like, as far as I'm aware, speculative. I would imagine the pole is probably fine compared to the flag. But, like, it's not like we've been back to check on them. We put a man on the moon in, what was it, the fucking, like, 60s or... I think it... When was the moon landing? How am I forgetting this? Yeah, it was 1969. So, right before the start of the 70s. Yeah, that's crazy to me. How has it been 50 years? Over 50 years that since we put a man on the moon. I'm pretty sure it was like the computer in Apollo 11 is weaker than like a TI-83. The fact that we even pulled it off is extremely impressive for the technology of the time period. And then we just kind of forgot about the space race after that, it feels like. We're like, eh. I remember I had this history teacher, and okay, I don't want to get super political, but this is kind of going to have to be political because she was really annoying about this. I had a teacher in 8th grade who was, like, absurdly conservative. And by that I mean she constantly would tell us to vote for Marco Rubio despite the fact that we were in 8th grade. This is not a joke. I wish it was, but this is not a joke. So she had this big rant in class one time about how NASA was a waste of taxpayer money. And I'm gonna be honest, the whole thing pissed me off. Space exploration and research is extremely important. Like, do you ever want to move on, you know, beyond Earth, right? But no, NASA's apparently a taxpayer waste that needs to be dissolved. Fuck yourself. I forgot to tell the Spectre to move with me. It's whatever. But literally, like, whenever we do a class presentation or something, she'd give us an example presentation that was always telling us to vote for Marco Rubio. And it's like, this is 8th grade. We can't... What? I don't live in Florida or anything either. This was about him running for president. And just some random Iowan teacher was like, yeah, vote Marco Rubio. I wonder if Norman is still in my chat, he'll actually remember this person. I think we were in the same class. Or we both had her as our teacher. But, like, holy fucking shit, it was so annoying. Even as someone who grew up in a relatively conservative household and wasn't really involved enough in politics to separate my opinion from that of my parents, it annoyed me. Now I've evolved my political opinions to vary depending on who I'm trolling. That's the real way to do politics, ladies and gents, and, you know, everything in between, right? The real way to do politics is to change your political beliefs depending on who you're trolling. But they're weaker. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, if we got a double, like, smaller range jam augment. For fuck's sake, can I please not fall to my death? That soldiers did more than politicians. So my brother had, this is the opposite end of the spectrum. He had a college professor that was super far left. And this college professor would constantly insert, like, basically in his exams. And keep in mind, my brother is a digital media major. That's his degree. So this had nothing to do with his major. They would do, like, basically in exams, they would have to, like, bash on Fox News and defend articles from CNN and just obviously partisan bullshit. And the guy lied about a bunch of stuff politically, too. Like, he would lie about, like, the nature of certain, like, topical political events at the time, let's put it that way. Just blatantly lie about them. And, of course, Hunter would, you know, go home and watch the footage for himself, and obviously it was just fucking untrue. I'm not going to give any specific examples, because I don't want to start a shitstorm in chat about things that are, like, explicitly political. This is just the window dressing for this. So, at one point, during the final, my brother is given the same, like, this task of basically the whole final, like, half of that damn thing is just, like, shit on these news outlets and defend these news outlets that I agree with. And Hunter wrote a blurb at the end of it basically saying that he didn't like those other news outlets either, and his score got lowered. And it's like, wow, okay, I guess if you don't want to play the partisan game, eat shit, I guess. And his teacher wrote, like, a fucking, like, page response about how he was wrong. And he kept citing this thing called the media... I think it was, like, what was it called? The media source reliability chart? Something like that? And the media source reliability chart is rather biased. Let me put it that way. It is rather biased. And that's something that the creator of it even confesses to. But apparently he adhered to it religiously, because it agreed with him. Teachers should have gotten reported hard. Getting a college professor fired is impossible. Also, here's the thing. Sounds like that guy to do that. Well, no, this was Hunter's college professor. They don't care about your parents' involvement. You're an adult by that point, right? But I don't know. That kind of thing. Like Hunter had multiple teachers that pushed political shit down his throat, despite the fact that that wasn't part of his major. And the problem is that most students wouldn't report that kind of thing because they agree with it. Because what you'll learn is that college campuses are very left-leaning. And I'm not going to bash you if you lean that way, right? But the fact that people agreed with it, even though it had nothing to do with what they were actually supposed to learn to progress their major, meant that no one would say anything about it. But of course, Hunter's the kind of person who kind of saw through the ruse. And was like, yeah, this guy's straight up lying about a bunch of the political events he's telling us about. That's kind of fucked up. He said, I'm not going to bring up any specific examples, just on the grounds of I don't want people in chat to start arguing about it. But for reference, this class was during 2020, I think it was, 2021. So there was a lot of very important topical events going on at the time here in the United States that the professor just lied about, which you could go watch footage online to prove him wrong if you wanted to. I take college from home, it's a blessing. Probably. You're an adult killing yourself. Made by an ex-Huff poster? I think that's correct. Can't even say sexist comments in college these days. Yeah, 1984. Why can't I bash women in public? With a rock, that is. Straight and left college by. Yeah, that was my experience with Discord. Oh, fuck. I can't make that joke. I never left the Discord is the problem. That's the real issue. Did that professor think that dress was white and yellow or blue and black? I have no idea. Realistically, blue and black because of, I don't know, political reasons. I'm not even going to elaborate on how that would be political. I'm just going to say it is and let you guys decide for yourself how that even makes any sense. Because to be honest, okay, we're about to get political, but in a very abstract sense. Modern political discourse is so fucking cancer. Have you guys seen articles where it's like everything is political type shit? And it's like this fucking like, I don't know, I despise it. It's like, sorry everyone, but knitting is political. And I'm like, kill yourself. What do you mean knitting is political? Can I not crochet or knit my little fucking like a Pokemon or something and just live in peace? Like, fuck off. I hate it so much. It literally, any topic, type it and then is political, and I almost guarantee you will find an article about it. Please just let me live in peace. Please. I don't care. He's a knitter? No, I'm not. The wife is, actually. The wife likes to knit things, but I don't. I have negative artistic talent. It's actually depressing. I have negative amounts of artistic talent. My ability to draw or do anything artistic is unbelievably bad. Have you guys seen the MS Paint part of the fucking Void Armageddon video? That should be proof enough. But no, there's Cool Kid's political rant. I fucking despise the whole everything is political thing. Let me live in peace, please. Getting politicals to scuffle to the nuts. Like, I don't know. Alright, now we're actually gonna get political, so I'm gonna start talking about, like, a political theory. But, I'm so tired of, like, this, like, push that everything has to be political, and that there are no apolitical spaces, right? It's so fucking, like, it ties into, like, theories, like, I think it's Gramsci's theory of, like, demoralization and stuff like that. I'm not gonna get too into it, because, once again, not a politics stream. But that's really how it feels, is it's like, please, let me die in peace. Let me die in peace. I don't care if, I don't know, owning a lizard is political. I really couldn't give a fuck less. I just want to own my lizard. And that's all that really matters to me. I don't feel the need to constantly be engaged in this political discourse about owning a lizard. I just want to own my lizard. No more politics. Return to lizard. That's all I'm saying. No more politics. I want to be Tilrigor's little lizard. We're going back to this. Is dying political, though? I mean, realistically, probably. If you looked that up, I don't doubt there'd be an article about it somewhere by some, like, fucking, like, I don't know, the Daily Mail or the Sun or some shitter outlet. That's like, yeah, dying is political. Okay. I mean, I guess your manner of death probably is. Really, though, like, calls leeches and worms? Yeah, he refers to us as that, too. But he talks about us having sticky hands and, like, being, like, little Tenno lizards. And I want to go back to being a little lizard. I don't want to be a rodent anymore. I want to be a little lizard. I will not stand for this new Tilrigor. I will not stand for the rodent arc. Return to lizard. Reject rodent, return to lizard. I should post that on my community tab with no context after this stream and just not explain it to anyone who asks. Anyways, a political rant over. You can always count on the Cool Kid stream to be a reliable safe haven from any specific politics. Just me ranting about how much I despise them in general.
Make me come to Mars, do your job for you. Smash the crystal, break the tunnel.
Tilrigor hasn't taken his brain pills today. He's speaking stunted because he hasn't, I don't know, drank his mud water or whatever the fuck. Bro normally has to smoke weed to behave normally. Unfortunate. I hope someone gets his, gets him his weed back to him so he can become normal again. put this back. This is, I really feel like at the end of the day, this has just become Void Flood. I'm just playing this like Void Flood because the damn Spectre is playing the game for me right now. I'm just grabbing shit. We're just going. It's just going. Just going. I mean, it has no genes for you. I mean, that's true. 1984. Tilrigor took the fucking genes. Gunblade Scythe, yeah, this is the new heavy scythe, Chorophel. It's also a Gunblade. And it's actually got a decent signature effect with Citrine in that its wind-up is faster on her. Which is nice, because to be honest, I feel like, some of the, like, signature effects we've gotten are not fantastic. Like, Alternox's .2 multi-shot, like, okay, that's kind of lame. But this one's pretty good. Do you want Tilrigor to give you sticky hands? Like the ones you can get from the arcade? That'd be cool. I liked those as a kid. I typically use them to assault my siblings, but that's to be expected. You know what's funny? That reminds me. I worked... So there is this high school program. Also, do you think Citrine is good? Very. How good is the stance mod? Gale Force Dawn is not a particularly good stance, in my opinion. It's not, like, the worst stance, but it's not great. But in high school, there is a program called Silver Cord. So, Silver Cord is a program where you do community service hours in exchange for an award that works for, like, scholarship money and stuff. I did it for, like, the first half of my high school years and then just kind of lost interest. But I was volunteering at a book fair at our elementary school. And this guy, like, basically I had, like, a prize counter. And so you draw things from the prize, like, for this little game, right? And if you won a prize, you got to pick from all the stuff I had. And so one of them were these, like, bendy pencils. And this guy walks up there. He doesn't have his kids with him. I think it's like he has one kid with him. It's just him, his one kid, and his wife. And he's like, man, I remember back when I was a kid, we would get those pencils and I would just use them to beat my siblings, right? They would just fight with them. And his mom hated them. So this guy, in an act of genius, plays the game to see if he can win a few. And he does. And he brings them back to his home with his other, like, 2 or 3 kids he didn't have. So that was at the elementary school. Later is the middle school book fair, like a week or 2 later. I'm also there. The guy shows up again with his other kid, sees me, sees the bendy pencils, and just starts fucking laughing. And I remember him and know immediately what he's thinking as soon as he sees me. And he's like, yeah, it happened. And I'm like, well, at least you saw it coming. That was fun. That guy was based. I respect it. He had to give his children the true joy of whipping your siblings with the bendy pencils. For me, though, it was never bendy pencils growing up. It was, I wasn't in public school until middle school. I was homeschooled. So, for me, it was the sticky hands from, like, you know, our various, you know, your Chuck E. Cheeses and stuff of the world. Just attack your siblings with those. Those don't hurt, though. Like, the pencils, I feel like that would probably fucking hurt. I'm gonna be honest. The whip pencils would probably hurt. Will be a plot point in Dubiri? Probably. Anyway, have fun. I'm out. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. But yeah, that was just an experience I had you all might find comedic. This man, he saw it coming and he did it anyway. And of course, I feel like as a parent, it probably renewed his perspective on how much his mom despised them. Used to be afraid of Chuck E. Cheese as a kid. Honestly, I respect that, especially the old Chuck E. Cheese. Those things were kind of creepy. Oh, right, they're down here. I'm not super worried about how much damage this thing is taking right now, because I should be able to just grab some fragments and get it, yeah, reinforced real quick. Anyhow, I don't think I've got that much time to grab more. But mascots just scared me in general. I mean, fair enough. I feel like that's part of what made FNAF so effective when it was new, right? Before the franchise became what it is, let's just put it that way. A big part of what made FNAF, like, effective horror for people was the nostalgic sort of fear of mascots. I'm a furry now? Maybe that was the end thing, right? You just somehow gaslit yourself into becoming a furry. Unbreakable rulers, you know, the ones made out of silicon. Jesus Christ. Are any of the conjunctions arcane worth it? Haven't touched that game mode yet. I would say that Arcane Blessing is pretty good. The one where you get more health with health orb pickups. If you have a damage reduction ability, it really helps to have that too. So like Nezha and Citrine especially benefit from it quite a bit. So does Varuna. The other ones, though, I'm not a huge fan of. They're fine, I guess. They're not bad. I just think they're fine. I could honestly swap this out if I wanted to. She gets so much energy from her one. In fact, you know what? Fuck it. I might as well just swap it out real quick. Look at that. I've got all this extra free capacity now. I can put, I don't know, Intensify on instead of Augur Secrets. Look at that. Now I can get the nice 90% DR up front. But I just don't want to put more Forma on this. If you wanted to, you could put another Forma on this. Maybe an Umbral or something. Other people have been playing high range. Like strength not as much, but mostly range for the crystal. That's perfectly valid too. Where does Citrine go on the foot tier list? I think she's up there. I think I'd give her probably an A. I think she's up there. I think she's pretty cool. Why was Soda's Varuna so base boosted? No idea. Maybe I just got a little bit too violent. Maybe my mic gain is too high. I have to turn it down again. My mic just randomly fucks with its own volume. That reminds me, if I'm too loud, please tell me. I always have to say this these days. If I'm too loud, please tell me. But anyways, she got them gemussy heals. Citrine's design, especially, I love this, by the way. I'm not using it, but her alt helm, look at this. There's just a rock in her head. Her brain is one single rock. She has one oversized brain cell. Got too excited talking about Varuna, maybe. Maybe Varuna awakened something in me. You're too unloud, please scream in anguish. I live in an apartment and it's 5:30. I probably shouldn't scream in anguish. Can't believe Red Text mentioned gemussy yesterday. Yeah, that's why I didn't even bother titling the stream anything clever. I was just like, fuck it, gemussy.
You're here to defend something that defies my own understanding of the void.
She's just like me for real.
Stop the Grenier and Corvus.
69 viewers, nice. Real and true.
Cold War. Warframe made crystal casket.
Just burning through Vapor Specters for no fucking reason. Realistically, I don't need them. I could just take, like, Frost or Octavia or someone. God damn it. It's a little bit too low to actually make it on that.
Take the genes, do the science.
Why do you speak like a fucking caveman in this mission, Rigor? It bothers me so much. Or sorry, Tile Regor, if you're fucking Lotus in her original transmissions. It bothers me so much she pronounces it that way. Or like Orokin Vault in the fucking Corrupted Vault missions. A pristine Orokin Vault. Why do you say it this way? Why do you not know how to pronounce these things? Between me and Till to end? How do you want it to end? By him not harassing you anymore? Or by you actually having sex? Those are the two options, I feel like. I am not even sprinting. I am smart. You would never have allowed gemussy to be canon. That's true. Or like Jeff. Jeff, who was really like... Okay, I'm going to be honest with you all. I actually kind of miss Jeff. And the reason for that is because he was very much a staunch defender of Warframe's art style. And I think we can all kind of agree that after Jeff left, things did start to get progressively more off the rails. I mean, we got stuff like Varuna, so I can't be too mad. But stuff like the wings and all that jazz, like, yeah. I can see where he was coming from. Like him squishing me into a pulp and eating me. Okay, well, that's a bit further than I thought you were going to go. He's just faded as hell right now, maybe. He's like, he drank too much. And then he was like, holy shit. We have to go to those crystals. We have to extract their genes right now. Man had one too many shots, and now he's thinking of that gemussy just like the rest of us. You scan the crystal? Yeah, I scanned one of them. I don't know... if it's just like, is it just scanning the crystal itself that's necessary, or is there like crystal fragments? I read about that in the update log. I should clarify I was trolling. I don't know if I believe you on that one. That was pretty fucking sus. That's all I'm gonna say. That was aggressively sus. On my way to bump caps lock. I should just remove my caps lock switch from my keyboard. I have a modular keyboard. I should just remove the switch for caps lock so I can't press the damn thing ever again. Even if I'm typing in all caps, I use shift. Like, is anyone else like that? The only thing I use caps lock for is in Black Ops Cold War. Did I even say that right? Caps lock. In Black Ops Cold War, it opens the map in zombies, and it doesn't turn on caps lock. So it's not terrible to use.
Tell the story of Belric and Rania, lovers whose guardian Warframe tried to save them by encasing them in her
Yes,
crystal. It is their remains.
I've heard this a few times. I've heard this a few times, actually. You don't have to keep repeating it. I mean, like, I appreciate the lore dump, but this is starting to feel like the rope below list. I don't need to hear this every fucking time, Lotus. I don't care that much. Lotus language actions ammo mutated. Well, we picked up that, I guess. Fuck. Shut up, Lotus. We don't care about you, Lotus. I think after this wave of, or this like batch, I'm probably going to just go back to playing the game mode on my own time and probably not stream it anymore. There's only so entertaining I can be when I'm talking about fucking gemussy and playing what's effectively mobile defense crossed with Void Flood. Really, really nostalgic to be on the old tile, though. I'm really glad it's back. Even though I never was a huge fan of this tile specifically, I'm really glad that it's back. It makes me very happy. Irrationally so, as a matter of fact. I have so much nostalgia for this tile. I remember grinding interception arbitrations on here and the like. I know Sab had the idea that maybe we were going to be doing it on multiple old tiles, but yeah, I guess that wasn't the case. Never even noticed this tile left. That's surprising. People have been up in arms about it being removed to this day. And like I said, I don't think this is this amazing tile people say it is, and I honestly think that people are going to realize now that it's not. Like, enemies can attack you from a lot of weird spots, like up on top of the catwalk, out of the crate, stuff like that. But in general, I don't feel like it's a bad tile. Like I said, though, it's not directly comparable to the Deadlock Protocol one to me, because the issue of enemies getting stuck and taking a while to travel to the objective is not an issue on this one, because, geez, it's not a gameplay mechanic anymore, right? It's not a concern. You just have to wait. It's not a matter of killing enemies to progress waves. Got it. Why do I keep getting the gun blueprints? This is my third one. I will say, though, I do miss... There's a lot of old Corpus tile rooms that I do still miss. Like the one that was like all of the cross catwalks. It was a fucking massive room. It was kind of a disaster, to be honest, but I miss that room. Just for all the nostalgia that I had there. Not necessarily because it was like a great room or anything. I just miss it because it's like, yeah, old thing that I remember from when I was a lad in middle school playing this game for the first time.
Pitter, pitter, pitter. Rodents
Crazy to think, by the way, that Warframe's been around for 10 years.
thick demos.
Or the old room that was in Rel's Quest. Yeah, I think, because I know there's also, the old reactor sabotage room is in Patient Zero, too. So I think, yeah, I think Rel's Quest still does contain one of the old rooms. Rodents. I want to go back to being a little lizard. Why did they take this from me, chat? Why did they take this from me? The Deception game mode room. Oh, yeah, that one. Breakable space windows. The breakable windows were never, like, a good gameplay mechanic, but damn, they were funny. Saw Trib's tweet and it changed him. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking, is that the DE realized that Trib would be too emboldened if everyone became a little lizard just like him. So, they had to change it immediately. Yes, I know I am dying on this hill of the lizard thing. I'm not entirely sure why, to be honest with you all. Sometimes I just don't think. It's a simple life. Ah, fuck. You die on many hills? That's true. Remember, content creator opinions, like Darth Muffin said, are always right. No, I'm not going to go on my rant again, but I still despise that. The people in the Warframe community where it's like a content creator's opinion is taken as like fact or as law. It's really not. If a person doesn't like a thing that you like or vice versa, I mean, keep an open mind, hear them out, but I don't think it should sway your opinion and cause you to not use certain things or, you know, not experiment or feel like you can't enjoy something that you enjoy. Say I'm not going to do the rant again and then I do it, but that's not abnormal on this channel. Anything down here? I have to get a little bit lower for them to show up on loot radar. I don't think so. I think, yeah, Citrine's 1 also goes through walls. I wasn't paying attention to the damn timer. This would be way more efficient if I wasn't fucking stupid and was actually prepping myself by the door between, or in like the last 5 seconds of a wave. Can I please not get stuck? Well, this was probably the worst factory I've actually ever had in this damn game mode. Holy shit. I didn't even reinforce once. Oh, never mind. We got it. Hog. Actual meth goblin footage? Real. I originally thought when reading her passive that 1.1 health per second per health orb was going to be kind of bad. Nah, it's really actually very good. You get so fucking many. Like I said, at 200% strength, you guarantee health orb drops. So I take back my... I mean, I take back everything I said about Citrin post-launch. I said that I was worried she was going to be rushed and bad. Sorry, that was my Windows, not yours. I just received an email from Bungie, I guess. I don't care, but thanks for letting me know. But yeah... Originally, I was like, yeah, I'm worried that Citrine is going to come out rushed and not be very good. And I am pleased to report that is very much not the case. I would argue she is one of the best frame releases we've had in a while. I think someone asked earlier, and I forgot to respond, like, who do I think had a better launch between Styanax, Citrine, and Varuna? I would actually argue that while Styanax is my favorite of the three, I think Citrine so far has been my favorite. On GV like new Vidoc, real. Welcome, Avery. Which do you love and which do you indifferent? I mean, I like all dogs, right? I'm very much a dog person. My parents had dogs throughout all of my time growing up. I actually have a pug named Molly who is fucking Satan. She's sleeping not too far from me right now. But yeah. It's just, oh, it's a dog. I'm not, there's indifferent. It's a dog. Give me dog. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Not much of a fan of cats, though. Which is a little bit ironic. Put Molly on the mic. Her ass is sleeping. I'm not gonna disturb her to put her on the mic. I have, though. But I'm not gonna do it again. Not this stream, of course. But I think it was on one of my older streams. I've just grabbed my dog and put her on the mic. Molly's a toy pug, too, so she's like a third of the size of a normal pug. She's more the size of a cat, actually. And like I said, she's evil, but that's just how it be. When you own a pug, I feel like that's just what you kind of have to live with. I will give you dog. 400 endo. Whoop. My favorite mission reward. Shit I don't care about. Getting about 90 every 25 minutes, which is rough, because it's going to take 1,200 of both essences to max each arcane. 1260, I think. Then again, that doesn't account for, like, arcanes you get as in-mission drops, but every arcane, I think, is like a 5% drop chance. And it's like, I think a couple of them are in... I think 2 of them are in rotation B, and 3 of them are in rotation C. So, the odds aren't fantastic. It's very much like Varuna in that regard. The arcanes, you are getting through the damn pity shop. You are not grinding them. So you hate cats? I never said I hate cats. I just don't particularly like them.
The infested on Deimos forever. Never liked that rhyme.
Makes no sense in this mission. I mean, it is a mission that's actually somewhat early accessible, but SP is a decent boost to crystal gains. I think it goes up to 7 instead of 5, but I feel like as solo, at least, I would spend so much time having to babysit the objective that it would actually hurt my efficiency because I'd be grabbing fragments less. That's just in solo play, specifically with Citrine. If I had like a proper setup, I could probably grind at SP just fine, but that's my concern, is that I can't just leave the objective alone with like a fucking Spectre in my crystal or anything, right? I'd have to babysit it a lot more, which would probably lower my efficiency overall. Get 15 per round rather than 10. That's good to know. They didn't mention that in the blog post. I was actually unaware of that. The mission is the pity system for the shop. It feels like that. Like, I like the pity systems, but I feel like these were built around the pity systems too much. Where it's like the pity system is actually supposed to be the way you get things, as opposed to the mission, and then the pity system being, oh, here's your bad luck protection. Very much feels like it's the other way around, where it's like, this is how you're supposed to get shit, and you might get lucky in mission, but you're supposed to grind the currency. You also need Stellated Necrothene to build Citrine, so you need to be like Deimos rank like 4, I think it is? Which, damn. Then again, Zaku has some of the most egregious requirements in the game, so not a foreign idea. Your resource boosters work on the crystal drops? I don't believe so. I'm pretty sure it's always 5, because I have a booster on right now that's not doing anything. Why is my crystal over there? What the fuck? Better than base Nidus, but equal to Nidus Prime? That's interesting. Yeah, her regen, when at max, is quite strong. I quite like it. Somehow just drive-by'd all of those crystal fragments. Gotta set up by the door. I actually noticed this time. The Great Aura Worm. My beloved. There he goes. Godspeed. Nice batch of 10 there. I like how these spawn in, like, preset spots, but where they, like, which ones actually are going to get filled with the spawn is a little bit random. Right before New Works, thought it was going to be required. I honestly was just, like, I'm a no-life, so I typically max those syndicates, like, on release. I think the only exception to that was Plains. It took me a little while to get that one, but, like, Fortuna, Necrolisc, all those, just grind that shit balls to the wall when they're new. That's just kind of, you know, it's the new stuff. Like I said, I'm going to grind the shit out of this game mode for like 20 or 30 hours to get all the arcanes, then I'm never going to want to play it again. That's just the cycle. Once I've had my fun with Citrine, I'm going to have to optimize a build to do this on Steel Path. And then once that's, figured out, I'm just going to no-life the shit out of it, basically. It was like for Conjunction Survival, I tried to do like at least an hour of it a day, which was miserable. Oftentimes I do more than that, though, because I was impatient and I wanted to, be done with it. So I'd play it, sometimes 3-4 hours in a single day, and it was like, holy shit, please kill me. Then they make the grind easier. I'd be fine with that. I'm not one of those, like, losers with, like, the HEMA where it's like, well, I suffered, so everyone else should have to. Like, no, fuck that. I don't want people to suffer through the same shitty grind I did. Feel free to nerf it after I'm done. I hate that so much. People who have the HEMA and are like, well, everyone else should have to deal with it. Like, not many people think that, but there are many people that do still. Where it's like, I grinded through the bad RNG, or through the absurd amount of mutagen, now everyone should have to. And I'm like, nah, fuck you. Just because you had to bear a shitty grind doesn't mean everyone else should go through the same pain as you. It doesn't make their HEMA any less legitimate. It's like I beat Launch Rising Tide. Yeah, Quest was cancer back then. Still very glad it got changed. Boomer mindset. I bought the HEMA. I actually bought the HEMA for Mastery early on, and then actually researched it years later. Because it took so long of just passively gaining mutagen to actually finish it. Well, I missed really easy pickup for remnants, so just grab these. Gotta get the fuck out of here. Another Neo relic. Whoa! Haven't had a certified lurker moment. That's true. I need to decide on one. I have to get the fuck out of this room, though. Problem with a certified lurker moment is if I tell people to type something too outlandish, they don't like to cooperate, right? I have to find something that's, you know, not so outlandish that people become uncomfortable voicing their support of the lurker moment. It's like George Orwell's 1984.
Getting tired, Tenno? Getting sleepy?
Silvergore ASMR?
All day and all night.
Oh, this is the sexual tension you were talking about. Okay. Never mind, I understand now. My pain is bigger than yours? Literally, yes. So many game communities do this shit, and it pisses me off. Where it's like, oh yeah, well, I have 10,000 hours in Warframe, and it's like, congrats, you've just proved you're a bigger loser than me. Like, when I posted the my 6,900 hours on my community tab, people were thinking that it was a flex. No, it was a reference to the fucking Angels of the Zariman video, because I said I had 6,900 hours in that video, and now I actually do, so the meme is actually accurate now. But, like, there were people that are like, well, I have 10k hours, and I'm like, yeah, congrats, you're a bigger loser than me. I wouldn't wear my Warframe hours as a badge of honor. It's kind of embarrassing, frankly. It's like, yeah, I played the game for a long time. I stand by the fact that I played the game for a long time. It's not like I've done it because I feel like I need to. It's because I have fun. But damn. Don't go around being like, oh yeah, I have 10k hours in Warframe. Like, how do you want to get 0 bitches? If you've already lost your virginity, hitting 10k hours in Warframe actually gives it back to you. In this economy, real. Which was a bug that got reverted? Bruh. Yeah, it's like, bruh, just let people fucking... let people be, I guess, in that regard. If they nerf a fucking grind or something, cool. Now more people can access the thing. Just because something was difficult to obtain because it took forever does not mean it was fair. Someone mentioned potential HEMA cost rework, virginity reroll. Yeah, you can reroll with potential better stats. I'm just spamming my one. Oh, I gotta set up near the door. Do I have any more? I do have more gemussy I can acquire real quick. This is my last round before I end the stream, so I'm not super worried about what Rania's crystal is at, frankly. I am interested in getting Citrine's Helmet ability. I feel like it has the potential to be pretty good on some characters, but kind of just, I don't know. That's not what I'm worried about. Right now, for me, it's the damn Arcanes. That's what I really want. If it's anything like Conjunction Survival, I will definitely get another Citrine while I'm grinding for the Arcanes, so I'm not worried about it. I got multiple sets of the weapons and Varuna. Who's a better frame overall, Whisper, Citrine? I feel like directly comparing them is difficult. They're both strong support frames, but for completely different reasons. I don't feel like it's fair to say like one is definitively better or worse than the other, because they do a lot of different stuff. I mean, I think that Citrine is more fun, personally. I've been having more fun playing her than I normally do with a Wisp, but that's just my opinion. I feel like I said, definitively being like, oh yeah, X is better. That's, I don't know. I'm not about that. I'm not about like Warframe viability tier lists and stuff like that either. frames are built for different things and are better at different jobs. Like, yeah, I don't think Citrine is great in, like, Exterminate, because she benefits from locking down an area. I should probably summon my on-call to give me a hand here, because these guys are getting a little bit adventurous, and I'm not sure why they're doing so well all of a sudden. But he can give me a bit of help while I'm grabbing the stuff. But yeah, I feel like directly comparing Wisp and Citrine is not particularly easy. Or productive, I guess. When's the SpongeBob SquarePants movie night? If we watch the original and not, like, any of the movies that they made after Steven Hillenburg left, then yeah, then we're fine. The original SpongeBob movie is a fucking masterpiece. I love that movie. Any of the other ones, though? Yeah, no, we're not watching those. No Discord movie night with, you know, Sponge out of water. Fuck that shit. I am a true classic SpongeBob enjoyer. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit quiet because I'm just trying to focus so that I don't fuck this up at the very end. God damn it. Oh, yeah, it's this one. There we go. I don't think I'm going to have enough essence to get any more, so I'm a little bit short because I fucked up the factory a couple times, but... Goofy Goober. Shrek 2 movie night. I don't know, a lot of the movie night was originally supposed to be, like, shitposting, right? Like, movies that we all knew were bad, like Velocipaster and stuff. We've only done Morbius, though. I blame the mods. It was their idea. Secondary Encumber, nice. We take those, we take those. Focus like Xeneric Warframe, real and true. Here, while I'm loading, I'm going to take a piss real quick, and then we'll wind down for like 10 minutes. You guys behave.
Operator, did you hear that? It said... Cosmic background radiation is a riot!
Alright, I'm back. I hope you all weren't plotting my downfall or anything like that. Yeah, we'll go ahead and wind down for like 10 minutes or so here. If anyone has any questions or anything like that. Once again, though, general opinions on Citrine, I think she's very good. I'm pleasantly surprised. I guess I can read her ability tips thing, too. I don't think I've done that yet. Yeah. Okay, so it is that as long as I have the bleed status effect, they get shown with a little crystal. Citrine looks dumb. I'm a little mixed on her design. There are parts of it I don't like and parts of it that I do like, I guess. For 2 is applied to enemies or to allies within affinity range. Good to know. Okay, so it looks like it won't attack foes harmed by abilities only with the exception of Fractured Blast. Okay, so deliberately they made the exception for her one. Good to know. Each attack will apply 1 stack of all of its status effects. Good to know. Be immobilized by crystallize, but will still grow crystals. I don't think that's working correctly right now. Okay. Sorry, I'm not reading any of that out loud. I'm not good at it. Just laughing my ass off. It was all black with gold and primary and accents. That's one. So
Armaments, operator.
I have, like, I was also messing around with something like this, but I feel like white and gold is so overdone. I was like, I feel like this has potential, but I like the whole bronze aesthetic. I also am literally full of Walter White's crystal meth. Right? Jesse, we need to cook. Citrine, we need to cook. We have to sell meth to the Lotus. That's what Tel'Regor is actually after, is the good crystal meth from Rania and Beleric. Speaking of which, someone mentioned those lore blurbs. Are those just under, like, universe? Factions. Where would I even find that? Do they show up in fragments? What armor attachments are those? Oh, under objects. That makes sense. Beleric's crystal. Oh, okay, yeah. Crystallized remains of the Master Foundry operator Beleric. During the Old War, Beleric, Rania, and their guardian warframe Citrine were the last line of defense against a sentient onslaught upon a strategically important planetoid. In the absence of any eyewitnesses, what happened in those final moments is a matter of speculation and colorful myth. What is known? A biobomb released the infestation upon the planetoid, halting the sentient advance and creating a heavily mutated environment. As for Beleric and Rania, the evidence suggests they were turned to crystal by Citrine. In her final moments, the Warframe chose not to flee, but to use the last of her energy to preserve the pair together in one final embrace. It's still playing the crystal sound effect. Okay, I have to scan Rania's one more time. Why is it so fucking loud? Can I just go and scan Rania's real quick and then immediately dip, actually? So yeah, I guess that's clarification for why the Infested are on Deimos. Is they just fucking blew up a bomb to release it there so that the sentient would fuck off. And I guess that still works, because even in the new war, they don't go to Deimos. We're on Shug that motherfucking Citrine. Yeah, for real. Wait, she got a gemussy though? I'm not sure. Does that work? Can I just... Yeah, it does. The crystallized remains of the celebrated Void Engineer Rania. In an event that has become the stuff of legend, Rania, along with her former husband Beleric, were transmuted into crystal by their sworn protector, the Warframe Citrine. A merciful end that saved them from a much worse fate. Their crystals remained together until the recent past. Smugglers discovered they exhibited some very curious properties. When separated, Rania's crystal remains connected to Beleric's via a void tunnel. How, perhaps in their final moments, intense emotions deformed the void substrata, connecting them forever. Doom lovers, connected forever, Citrine's last wish. Holy shit, they said it, guys. She said it. There it is. The update title. It's like when the Worm Queen in the last update said, this is Warframe Lua's Prey Update 32.1. Wonder which one's mind control is stronger, a Neurosentry or an Infested Hive Mind? I mean, presumably the Neurosentry, because it works on Infested Ancients.
Did you hear that? It said...
But why is Beleric under it as well? He's a male. Damn. They're both rocks now. I'm sorry. They're both rocks now. Also, I think I already said it, but the armor I'm wearing is from Garuda Prime Access, and the Syandana is from Korra Prime Access. There are a bunch of people shitposting in the Discord. That's alarming. I'm always scared to enter the Discord chats. When Teshin gave us the Cuba and said, what you choose to do with it, or, well, within your war more than anything. Yeah, I really liked it when Lotus said, I hid them in the second dream, That's actually a line she says. That I didn't make that up. That's actually a thing she says. But I also really liked that part of the new war where Call said, this really is a new kind of war. That went extremely hard. Which is another planet controlled by the Infested. Weirdly enough, yes. So Deimos doesn't have one. But Eris, I'm pretty sure did. Wait. Hold on. Yeah, the Mirexes are in the background still. They're just, like, kind of faded. So there was one over here. Not entirely sure why. Then again, Deimos is much more fucked up than Eris is in terms of being infested. Like, look at it. The whole thing is infested. It's basically one giant superorganism at this point. Joe Biden? True. I broke using Rapala on everything. You're one of those people. These are some stolen dreams? Yeah, true. Aram once a week now? This really is a Warframe rising tide. Yeah, Warframe's writing will never cease to be amazing. Someone posted in the live reaction chat just live stream, and it's just a fucking screenshot of this stream. Live chemical reaction? That's a good one, too. People, Dr. Dippy is just posting some stream clips. I have to watch those later. More like what? More like Micro Lizard. Tilrigor's little lizard. Remember the old opening cutscene where Vor said, "You're my Vor's prize now"? Yeah. That was crazy. Can't believe Ian Fector was an infestor in disguise. That was pretty much the emissary. That's a good summary of the emissary. Go for another couple minutes. We gotta hit that nice 2-hour mark for no reason other than just because. Got all these cool quests. No, shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. I need to fucking turn off the notification noise for this. Why did I get a notification from Rockstar about GTA Online? I don't play GTA Online. Hold on. Unsubscribe immediately. I don't remember my login information. Okay, we'll fucking deal with it later. Fuck you, Rockstar. Are we, like, ever getting a Nightwave story again? I honestly anticipate at this point we're probably not. I feel like look at this. Look at this. This is our 5th intermission. Norwa's Choice went on for so long. I've got to rank 105. We have been trapped. This is our 5th consecutive intermission. So my guess is we're not going to get one for a while. Which is a bummer. I liked the old series. Well, Glassmaker was kind of a bitch, especially because of how long it went on for, but I liked Emissary and Wolf of Saturn 6 for the most part. That it's wolfing time and wolfed all over the place. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I mentioned on the last stream that I don't really care to do any of the prestige ranks, and someone said, well, I should do them for potatoes. I don't really need any more. Oh, one more thing I should probably talk about before we end the stream. I'll do this quick, I promise. This actually has to do with Teshin. Most of you probably already have heard about this, but I want to talk about it real quick. Hold up detecting glass resonance? Pretty much. Updated my YouTube name? Cool. Now I know your true identity. So they actually added a cap on the amount of Kuva and Relic Packs you can buy from Teshin per week. You can now only buy 25 per week. Now, I honestly don't care about this change that much, because I'm not buying that much Kuva in a week. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you all. But I just thought you should all be aware, if you're like a hardcore Kuva grinder, yeah, they put a cap on this. That's still, what, 375 Steel Essence a week? That you would need to actually be affected by this in any real way? They said that the reason that they did this was basically to stop people from being able to abuse it. Because you can still get 250,000 kuva per week this way, which is still plenty. But they said there were certain people that they were worried were abusing the system for infinite kuva. So they just wanted to put a cap on it. If this was because of people that hoarded Steel Essence back in the day when it dropped from Eximus units, this is too little too late. But no people doing endurance runs anymore. There will still be plenty of endurance runs. I don't think that's dying because of this change. Saturn 6 armor pack from the Nightwave? Bruh. Like I said, this is still plenty. 25, that's still plenty, if you ask me. But they did put a cap on it. Some people are pretty pissed off about it, but I feel like it's still plenty high. Hello, Teshin. I'm glad we can only play Steel Path after you've died in the story. It was a great decision. I'm glad Creator Mode still doesn't hide you. Your Dark Souls 3 The Fire Fades Edition Ashes of Ariandel DLC chosen Game of the Year? Yeah, that goes pretty hard. So people couldn't get a new Prime in 2 hours? I mean, maybe. Honestly, I've always used my Relic Pack purchases from my syndicates. I just stock up on a bunch of syndicate rep. Like, mine's a little bit low right now. I should probably actually change my pledge to Suda again. But mine's a little bit low right now because I bought the new augments. Thank fuck all of the new augments were for syndicates I had already. Packs and Kuva now, it doesn't matter. More or less. The Kuva from Nightwave and from Arbitrations aren't really nearly as good as Teshin, but they are still options. And honestly, Steel Path Kuva Survival is still very efficient. Steel Path Kuva Survival is still quite efficient. Because you get Essence and Kuva at the same time. So if you're really trying to hardcore grind that shit, that's the way to go. On a max cost Riven? Yeah. Speaking of that, I'm pretty sure my most rolled Riven is this one. This Strun Riven. Cold damage and crit chance. This is the best roll I got in 100 rolls. Is it a bad roll? No. But it's no god roll either. I have some that have like ridiculously high reroll amounts, but none of them above 100. I know some, I think it's Sayla said she has like a 300 reroll run one, and it's like, holy fuck. Oh yeah, I have 2 Arcaplasm more. Electricity, heat, and multi-shot, and damage and crit damage. I have one for Arca Cisco now, too, I guess. None for the hammer, though. Athadai. I have a problem with separating myself from Rivens. I'm not going to use the majority of these. Like, Miter, I don't like this gun. I'm not using this, but I just don't have the heart to get rid of it. Recently, we've been getting more frames. Maybe I got that was a god roll out of the box. I think I had one that I got that was a god roll out of the box. For Amprex that I sold. I think it was like damage, crit chance, and multi-shot or something like that. Hello, gemussy, farewell. Thank you, Remy, I appreciate it. Taking my Kuva so quickly. It is rough. Transmute them. I can transmute them, but like I'm always like, what if one day I end up liking the Miter? Or like, what if one day I want to put this Riven on my Harpack? I probably won't, but what if? Oh yeah, I have 2 Ignis Rivens too. Both of these are pretty good. Damage and multi-shot or damage, heat, and multi-shot. Then again, it's Ignis, so its disposition is shit. Still no lurker moment? Fuck, we're ending the stream, though. How am I supposed to do another lurker moment? We're not at the height of our viewership anymore. Live prismatic gem reaction? Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Here will be the lurker moment. Just, if you've been lurking and haven't been saying anything in chat, just type whatever the fuck you want. I don't even care. Just, I don't know. I have to make sure that you're still alive, so just say something, I guess. Yeah, thank you, because that has the right idea. I think Ribbon Mods chat with each other like the toys in Toy Story? Maybe. Lizard Gang? I like pineapple on pizza. Hide user on this channel. No, damn, that's rough. The War of 1812? Oh no, we're getting political again. We're getting political on the Cool Kids stream again. Alright, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. My Vulpaphyla just jumped into the space between the ramp and the fucking wall of my ship.
Orders, operator? Is that a pun?
Anyways,
I will attempt to bypass
I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here real quick. Am I actually hidden? No. I'm just joking. I ate chicken lasagna and I feel nauseous. That sounds horrible. I'm having a stroke. Ooh. I watched Kanzu swallow a squirrel whole. That doesn't surprise me. But yeah, you can watch previous VODs in the description. You can, I don't know, explode if you want to. The Discord's in the description. Make sure to like, subscribe, and set your house on fire. Don't do the last one, actually. I take that one back. Yeah, make sure to explode your gator. Make sure to explode your gator. And I will see you all Sunday, I guess. See ya.